What's up, guys? This is your boy Vestman. I want to do a little special podcasting thing. I kind of woke up maybe about 6:30, 6 o'clock, have my breakfast, have this, listening to a little story from other places and what's going on. And then sometimes I'll try to make a poem or a word out of it. But I think I'm getting a little bit not to use certain things about the words. But now this is gonna be a little bit serious note, and I'm gonna say what I'm going to say, my mind. Again, you don't need to listen to this. You could go on your merry way. You do not need to comment this. You could listen, walk away. You could be whatever you want to be in the other side of the other people that want to control whatever. And in my opinion, and I have this big opinionated stuff, and I'm gonna say it. I'm going to say what I'm going to say again in the time. But before we do this, again, no one should be above the law, not even the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, not even the Speaker. No one should be above the law. And then we have this law abiding thing that we have to follow and doing this and doing that. So when the Democratic Party broke quorum like 2 weeks later because they don't want to sign the gerrymandering maps or have it because they want to have. So people signed this permission slip that I heard so they could go home and spend time with their family and stuff. I want to make this. So if the Democratic takes over down the road or something, they could probably do the same thing. Hey, now you got to sign a permission slip. Republicans and not Republicans because you held somebody into their First Amendment speech. And I keep saying this First Amendment. Not everybody will probably get to the First Amendment thing. I understand that. But here there's a little difference what I'm saying about this um, speech, right? We have a First Amendment speech, protects freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government. And I'm gonna show you a little picture that I did a while ago. Um, so what's here's the first picture here. So they came back in the broke one. This is Natalie Kohler, a Democratic um, person. But when she got back and all that, they want her to sign a permission slip. Means everywhere she goes, they gotta have a person to follow. Everywhere she goes, they gotta, including that she cannot escape this issue because they want to use that quorum for gerrymandering map. I'm gonna say like, what the fuck are you doing, guys? And it's not about the Democratic Party. What are the fuck are you doing to your own government and not listening to the people that need help with the flood relief? I say the words. I said it, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? Here's a reason that the speaker, Mike Johnson, the Republican Party, saying that to her that you need to sign this permission slip. Really, like, what in your fucking mind in there? Are you 10? Are you 5? Permission slip because they broke quorum, because they want this gerrymandering maps, because they want these seats. Like I said something way before in my mind. If you don't like what we say, disappear. But we have an opinionated. I have a freedom of speech of religion. Freedom of the press, I'm not, maybe not the press. Freedom of assembly, yes. But we have the right to petition the government. And so what I'm going to do is, now you make one of your people, in quotation, in my side. I don't know. Not everybody's gonna be perfect. Not everybody's gonna agree with me. But Mike Johnson, it's another jester of the president. I'm gonna say it, jester. He's another pawn in a chess. He doesn't want to stand up to his big balls and president. He doesn't have a heart. He has a black heart. She has a good heart. Black, good, black heart, good heart. Black heart, good heart. Black heart, good heart. Black heart, good heart. Black heart, Mike Johnson. Good heart, Natalie. Nobody deserves to be held hostage in the capital of Washington, D.C. Nobody should be held hostage. Nobody. And the word, the choose word, I agree from this other person saying held against the will. Because you're not following protects freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of something, freedom that she's petitioning that the government should let people walk safely. But no one is doing that. No one is doing that to stand up to a person. And I said this yesterday, and I'm doing this a little bit of special. I said this yesterday. Apocalypse. We will go to apocalypse if no one stands up to him, in my opinion. So, and I'm gonna say this: it's Magna Republicans different than the regular Republicans. Regular Republicans and the regular Democrats work together, but different views. They might not agree on stuff, but they work on different views. They work together and which views they want to see, right? And they work as a maybe not always a cohesive thing, but the normal Republicans and Democrat work together as different views. Magna Republicans work as they want us to bow down to their wannabe king and say what they want. They want us to keep our mouth shut. They want us to keep our mouth shut, but don't want to stand up to their boss. Now, I have before I go, and I'll say this, and that's, I said apocalypse. So, this person, this person, the jester, the black heart of the House Speaker, listens to his wannabe king, and I'll do everything I say, my boss. I wonder who wears the skirts in the family. And then he cannot stand up to his boss. But then he wants to stop this gerrymandering other side of California. And I'm gonna say this. He's gonna do what he's gonna do in California. You could try to stop him, but then you got people that may like him. You got people that may not like him. But I think in this part, Mike Johnson, you might need to stand up to your boss, have the big cojones, the big balls in your court, the big middle to stand up to your boss. And I'll say that. But since no one wants to listen, You are part of a Republican. You do not want to listen, and then you have courts. You have Supreme Court. That's the highest thing. That the most balls of it. The boss is the Supreme Court. The other boss, and then you have this thing here. Uh, here's another thing. What is he? The Chris or whatever that guy name is. No, he's a politic person. So the guy that other one that thinks that God is a man in the scripture. It has to be a man and a woman. It has to be no transgender. It has to be no lesbian. It has to be no gays. It has to be no nothing. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government. And this fathead dude doesn't care about the government, doesn't care about this. And I'm gonna say this: slavery was abolished, and now we're going back into probably in some slavery clause because you holding hostage to that person because she needs to sign that permission slip, right? She's not gonna sign it. So let's reverse it. So if the Democrats got into the, the seats and all the other stuff, then they gotta tell you the same thing. You have to sign the petition. We gotta keep you there. But then here goes. They're for the people. The Democrats are for the people. Some Republicans are for the people. The big oil and wannabe king Republican is not for the people. He wants power. He needs a big pacifier because you got to do what he says. And in my opinion, you just don't give a shit. You just don't give a fuck. And the Republicans don't give a damn, don't give a fuck, don't give a shit, don't give a care, don't give nothing. And I am saying that. Well, I'm saying bad words. But then here goes. Later on, those that I say that I will apologize to those that feel that I need to. You apologize to the whole world, then I'll apologize. But if you can't do that, then my hands are tied. Then you got a press secretary wants to arrest the homeless because they can't find shelter. Really? Really? Maybe you should arrest you for having a mindset of whatever. Then you got the attorney general. You may not like what I say in this thing, but a freedom of speech is I'm home. I'm saying what I say. I feel what I say. I say what I said. And I'm looking at certain things here. Supposed to be freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to petition the government. But then no government in the Magna Republican don't give a care about no one else but themselves. That is my opinion. The other Democrat and the other Republicans care for the people, but different views. They work together in different views. But then here's this: the wannabe king gets immunity for whatever he did wrong, but then when other president gets no immunity, so that's the difference. He gets immunity, no one else can get it. He gets immunity, but no one else could be fair. He gets immunity, but you can't touch him. But see, you can't touch him, you can't do this, you can't do that. But there's words that mean to be. So you help you so the Washington DC and the House Speaker of this guy, and he wants her to sign a permission slip so she could go back home, but then people gotta follow her around. So now Supreme Court Justice, is this is right from the House Speaker? Because by law, I don't think by law usually, and like we keep saying, no one is above the law. 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 Is he above the law? Because he's breaking the law himself, isn't he? This guy, Mike Johnson, I'm gonna say, is he breaking the law himself? He broke wrong because they don't want to listen. He's breaking the law because he wants to have Democratic Party to stay. And Greg Abbott, the Texas governor, wants to do and follow his little friend, big friend that doesn't. I want everybody to listen to me. I don't get it. I don't get what the government in this. To me, you're not. So Mike Johnson, you're not a government. You're just the ass kisser. I'll just say it. You don't believe in gays, lesbians. Well, you're just the ass kisser. You have a black heart. People may not like what I say, but they don't need to comment. They don't need to comment what I said. They could hear it or leave. Black heart, double black heart, triple black heart, quadruple black heart. Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House, and he cannot stand up or have the big balls to stand up to the boss, his boss, and say, "Hey, we can't do this. We're breaking the law. We can't do this." And then and then his boss, "I don't care what everybody's saying. I am the boss. I am the king. You gotta listen to me." You're just a scared chicken shit. Yeah, other Magna Republicans, just a chicken shit scared. They want something, and you are breaking the law. They want something, breaking the law in the middle of the census, the middle of the midterm, this in the census, because 10 years of the census. So we're in 2025. You're doing in the middle of the year here. The census should have come out like probably in November or January and do that 10-year thing. But hey, you want this, you want that, they want to pass this, they want this. The more time you wait, the more time you do, is that options are different now. And I said this, Mike Johnson, you are a chicken shit. You may not like the words I said. I said it. You could say what I want and hear what I say, but then what's the use to fight over? Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, freedom, the right to petition the government. And I'm gonna have the right to petition the government. The government doesn't give a damn, especially the Magna Republicans don't give a about no one. So let's put it this way. You may not like what I say and stuff. In my opinion, I say we might be in an apocalypse, like in a zombie world, because no one wants to stand up to the person. No one wants to stand up to the thing. So you want to go back in time of 1960s or 1800s that some of us were not even born, including the wannabe king. He was not even born before the 1800s. I hope, I hope you wake up. I hope you wake up. Smell the damn coffee, pizza, the air, the universe. Mike Johnson, you're the House Speaker. And I keep saying, I keep hearing like which goes first, the House Speaker, the Senate, or the Congress. What they, I think they pass the bill, they go to the bill, they pass the bill, it goes to the Senate goes, and then the president has a sign, right? And then the thing is, then the president can veto it, but then it has to start over again and start off. And then you're wasting taxpayer money. You're wasting my taxpayer money. You're wasting some people taxpayer money. It's the funniest thing that you are wasting taxpayer money and not taking care of the Texas state that had flood. I just say what I said. I just feel what I said. I just be as me that I want to be. Okay? And yes, it was a little too early when I say these profanity words. Yes, too early. I'm gonna say it. I said it and I said it is wrong to say these words. But the difference is when I said it and it's wrong, maybe that would be a good wake up call. Again, let's see. We could talk about something a little bit serious and also have a little fun and ask questions about me or cool stuff. I am not perfect in here. Like I was doing like my podcasting, I could have my own opinions. I'm not going to judge you. Um, and whatever you have, the opinions, you could. You do not need to write a comment on here. You can listen. You could leave. You could say. You could think what I say. But hey, my opinion is my opinion. You have yours. I have mine. Here are some rules that I'm going to say. Sometimes I can use profanity. I would say almost anything like I'm not perfect. I'm not a king. I do not have a queen. I am me that like to be me. I will someday get myself a queen and I will be her king. For that different kind of title is different to me. So the different is instead of in another way. I will be her king for that kind of title is different to me, but I'm not her king. If I had a queen, she's not gonna be my queen. I'm not her king. We work together to stand up together, work together as a team. So if I said, "Oh, honey, I'll cook the I'll clean up the bathroom, and I'll mop the bedroom or the floors, and you cook for that." We'll take turns in doing that, working together, taking turns, working together, taking turns, working together, taking turns, working together. In the Magna Republican thing, there's no I, it's only one. and it's your boss. It's only him. There's no team there. Other Democrats and the Republican with different views, they were a team but different views, and that's the thing I feel like I don't fear the most. It's just I say what I think of is that you're not listening to your people that voted for you, or other people that voted for you but not listening what you are. I said this the last time. What is a king and a queen? First, identify. I know someone that all know who is that, but he's not my king. If you want to go back to the ages of nearly 1800s, we would never have been born. You was never born in the 1800s, were you, Mike Johnson? What king was born in the 1800s? We'll find out. Let's see. What king was born in the 1800s? Let's see. Let's see. The 1800s. Many kings were born in the 1800s. So we have Edward VII of the United Kingdom, George V of the United Kingdom, Wilhelm II. It was an emperor and king of Prussia. I didn't know that he was a German one. Okay, King Christian the Ninth of Denmark. Oh, same birthday as mine. Congratulations. King Frederick VII of Denmark. So there is kings that there, but the example of kings, different example, but there were different rules at that time. And then when it became more United States time, but no one cared until one person cared a little bit later, and that's the only reason. I said this before. This is my opinion. If no one likes it, if no one likes to hear, they could go to another podcast or just listen if you like. Everyone in the U.S. have a right to be an opinionated, including the guy he think he is king. He has a right to be opinionated, yes, but he's not a. To me, he's not a king. He's not my king. He could be a wannabe king, but he's not my king. You're his wannabe jester, but you're not my jester. The only king I have is God. He knows what is right and wrong. I support the LGBTQ, and those people that don't want to support the LGBTQ is that they are fucking smart, better than you, Mike. They're smarter than you, I think. God created children are some of everybody. And sorry, God, if I cursed out again. Sorry, God. Sorry, God. Sorry, God. I shouldn't curse out. I shouldn't curse out to the to the. I don't know. I don't. I um. To me, God created all children. So this guy, this politic guy, this Christian guy that thinks it should be only men and women together in the Bible. Okay, you're part right, men and women, part right. But God created all children. If God created all children to have hearts, to have feelings, to love who they love and what they love. No one's business behind closed doors unless you knock and say, "What you doing behind closed doors?" No, that one is out of the mind of. I have a couple of friends of transgender that I supported the Pride Month in the time, and I supported that. But this is what you think of transgender have good hearts. They have feelings. Okay, you don't like how they dress and you don't like how they do. Do they love you for who you are? Maybe not, because you're just a little bit of a scare person. The thing about transgender, and my mom supported as well. I don't care what they are. I don't care what they do. I don't care who they love. It's none of my damn business who they love. It's none of your damn business who they love. If they love this guy, they love the guy. If they love this girl, they love this girl. If they love the guy, they love the guy. If they like each other, they like each other. If they love each other, they love each other. You don't have this kind of opportunity and have love because maybe you're just too scared to figure it out yourself. So Mike Johnson and this Chris guy, whatever, Chris Perk that thinks about the Bible thing and all this, and he's a politic, and he doesn't believe what that should be. Why you can't answer the other person's question? Why you can't say that easy question? It's so easy. Why you putting around these questions that you can't answer the question because he's telling the damn truth. Transphobic. People that are transphobic. Some people. I'm not gonna say all people. I'm gonna say some. Listen very carefully. This is my opinionated. I'm going to support the LGBTQ. I'm going to support the Democratic Party, and that should not be held hostage. I'm going to support to those of some Republicans that standing up with the Democratic Party. I might not be fans with them or independent ones as well, but nobody should be above the law. No one should be above the law. And we keep saying this, we keep saying this, and we keep saying this, and then you take advantage. And you don't want to give us the time to hear our voices. You want us to keep damn shut. In this freedom of speech world, you want to control the universe. I think when you see hurricanes and rains and thunderstorms and all the other stuff comes around, I would say Mother Nature is pretty upset because no one wants to stand up to that person. Everybody else is standing up, but not the other side. And to me, you hurling your one of your colleagues because she got to sign a permission slip, and if she doesn't sign, she could get arrested. But don't forget, a reverse could come sometimes and bite you in the ass. Make sure they don't do the same thing to you. But then again, they might have a heart. You just have a black heart, Speaker Johnson. Just think about anything I just said. Maybe if you want to hear it, maybe not. So, I am Vestman. I'll see you around.